We will first revise ulcerative colitis and then we will go towards Crohn's lesions, Crohn's disease. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Hello? हाँ हाँ बोलो. हाँ नहीं नहीं सबको स्लोली ऐड किया जाएगा. मैं अभी तुमको लिंक भेजती हूँ. हाँ लिंक भेजती हूँ. तुम्हारा पूरा क्लियरेंस हो गया है ना सेकेंड ईयर का? ओके ओके. फॉर्म फिलअप किया? ओके 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 ओके. आई विल सेंड यू द लिंक. ओके. So, yes, what are the causes of ulcerative colitis?
Lysosomal theory,
Yes.
allergic hypersensitivity,
Huh. Then,
parasympathetic tract over functioning, over activating.
yes. So, what is the cause of this parasympathetic tract overactivity? Yes. 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 What is the cause of parasympathetic hyperactivity? What happens due to this parasympathetic tract activity, overactivity? Yes.
Vasoconstriction of the blood vessels.
Uh,
Vasoconstriction.
no, no. What is the cause?
Chronic. It is
What is the cause?
chronic.
Yes. What is the cause? What happens exactly due to overactivity of parasympathetic tract? It gives rise to, it causes to increase the mass peristalsis, no? Because of
Yes, ma'am.
overactivity of parasympathetic tract, the mass peristalsis will going to rise. So it will going to increase the movements of bowel.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
that's why the lesions will going to develop due to overactivity of parasympathetic tract. Okay. Then
Tract.
second cause is lysozyme theory, no? What is the cause
Yes,
of
ma'am.
this lysozyme theory? What is etiology behind this? Because lysozyme is a mucolytic enzyme, no? It breaks the
Yes,
defense
ma'am.
mechanism. This particular thing breaks the defense mechanism. Okay. So what will going to happen? It is always under the nervous control. This lysozyme is always under the nervous control and it
Nervous control.
increases by the nervous stimuli. That is by hypothalamus, activated by hypothalamus, and it causes the breakdown of defense mechanism and exposure of this mucous membrane to the tryptic enzymic digestion. Okay, there will be exposure of this delicate mucous membrane to the tryptic enzymic digestion. So there will be a formation of superficial lesions. Okay. So, and the next cause is allergic hypersensitivity. I've told you what exactly happens in this allergic hypersensitivity. Release of histamine, bradykinin. Okay. It will act as an inflammatory these are the inflammatory uh, this granules and which contained in the mast cell, and this allergic hypersensitivity will increases the inflammatory atmosphere due to release of this inflammatory mediators. Okay, so there will be again superficial erosion due to this allergic hypersensitivity. Okay, and next cause is antibodies which act against the mucopolysaccharide present in the colonic mucosal cells. So these are the four causes of this ulcerative colitis. Now today we are going to discuss about this Crohn's disease. It is a disease of inflammatory bowel disease. Okay, this ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease, they are the two diseases included under the inflammatory bowel disease, that is IBD. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about this IBD. Okay. Now, see in this diagram, you can see the normal intestinal surface here. This is the normal wall of intestine, and here the Crohn's disease. That is, what are the things you are looking in this slide? That is cobblestone like intestinal surface. Okay, so there is fat wrapping around this particular. Yes, yes. Then fissures get developed. That is, cracks get developed in the intestinal mucosa, and the wall is edematous. It is thickened, inflamed wall of intestine. Here there is normal intestinal surface. Okay, and you can see in the Crohn's disease, that is, there is fissuring, then that is, there is cobblestone like appearance of intestinal surface, and the fat wrapping. Okay, so these are the things included in this Crohn's disease. See, here you can see again in the next picture, healthy intestines. Okay, then there is fat wrapping on the intestinal tubes, and there is fissures. You can see muscle hypertrophy, that is edematous muscles, inflammations, and again cobblestone appearance here. And ulcerative colitis, you can see here the wall is not much edematous. The muscle hypertrophy is not much seen in the ulcerative colitis, but there is irregular ulcerative lesions you can see in the mucosa, within the mucosa. See, that is the difference between Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. How you can grossly see and differentiate between this particular two inflammatory bowel diseases. Okay. Now, this Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis are two forms of non-infective inflammatory disease of bowel. Okay. So this Crohn's disease, the patients are in Crohn's disease, the patients are usually young adults. Okay, the patients in Crohn's disease, they are young adults. Clinical features of Crohn's disease are diarrhea, abdominal pain, weight loss. The disease can affect any part of GI tract from mouth to anus. See, again, one of the difference here in this Crohn's disease. This ulcerative colitis is the lesion which acquire only the part of large intestine. Okay, terminal part of the large intestine. Remembering, no? But here in Crohn's
Yes, ma'am.
disease, the whole intestinal GI tract is get affected. That is from mouth to anus. Okay, here is the big difference between ulcerative colitis and this Crohn's disease. The majority of lesions are seen in the distal small bowel and colon. The distal small bowel and colon get affected due to this particular lesion, that is the Crohn's disease. Okay. Now again, here the main differentiation is again weight loss, abdominal pain is very much, they are excruciating pains and maybe associated with diarrhea. Sometimes maybe in ulcerative colitis, there is alternate diarrhea and constipation, but here the diarrhea is much more significant in Crohn's disease. Okay. हॅलो हॅलो. हा सर. हा सर बोल. हो 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 बोला सर. सर माझं लेक्चर चालू आहे एक 1 वाजेपर्यंत. लेक्चर झाल्यावर मी कॉल करते. So, this majority of lesions are seen in the distal part of small bowel and colon. In ulcerative colitis, the area of large intestine, it is a proximal part. Okay. So while going, we are going to discuss about this small differentiating points, and lastly, togetherly, we will recollect all these points of ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Okay. So whole GI tract is get affected from mouth to anus. Then there is associated diarrhea, abdominal pain, weight loss, and there will be the lesions will get developed in the distal small bowel and colon. This Crohn's disease is characterized pathologically by, there are three features: transmural, then presence of non-caseating granuloma, and third is fissuring with formation of fistula. So transmural, that is involvement of bowel by an inflammatory process with mucosal damage. There is inflammatory lesions. Inflammation is much more present in the Crohn's disease associated with mucosal damage. There is presence of non-caseating granuloma. At the base, the granulation tissues get developed which are non-caseating. Now, all of you know what is caseation. I think all of you know the necrosis. Yes, Pranjali, Aisha,
Yes,
Shivani.
ma'am.
So, what is caseation? Caseation necrosis. What is caseation? Yes, what is caseation? Here we are looking that it is presence of, there is presence of non-caseating granuloma. So there is granuloma.
Caseation means, ma'am, necrosis with the conversion of damaged tissue into soft cheesy substance.
Cheesy substance. Okay, there is formation of soft, cheesy substance. We call it as caseating. Okay, caseation. But here, these features of granuloma with non-caseating lesions. Okay. Also, it is associated with fissures. So, there are three things. Transmural. What is transmural? That is through and through. Whole bowel wall get affected. Involvement of bowel by an inflammatory process with mucosal damage. The whole wall get affected. Okay. That we call it as transmural. Not only inner side, but it is the area which is open into the lumen, not only that area, but the whole bowel is get affected. We call it as transmural involvement. The whole thickness of bowel get affected. Okay. Then epidemiology. The age is second and third decade of life. The females, they are more get this particular affections than males. And here in background, smoking is a strong exogenous risk factor for this particular inflammatory bowel disease. Okay, so smoking is a strong exogenous risk factor for this particular disease. Females, they are more get affected than males, and always the affection in the age group in the second and third decade. Okay. See here, the lesions we are going to look in Crohn's disease. That is, it starts from the alimentary canal, that is from mouth to anus. Okay, so in the mouth there is stomatitis, inflammation in the eye, mouth ulcers, that is stomatitis in the mouth, then skin ulcers, which are morely sore ulcers. The skin ulcers, they are much more sore. The liver and bile duct associated with inflammation of liver and bile duct. Stomach inflammation always get presented as a vomiting. Then intestinal diarrhea. Diarrhea is there with abdominal pain, cramping, ulcers in the digestive tract. Okay. Then it may be associated with fever, weight loss, and decreased appetite because of inflammation of stomach and whole GI tract. The feeling of hunger is get affected. So there is fever, weight loss, and decreased appetite. There is rectal bleeding due to fissuring. We have seen that there is fissuring will get developed in this particular lesion. So from that fissures, there will be bleeding. The joint pains and swelling. Okay, there is joint pain and swelling. So rectal bleeding. I will just a few minutes. I will send link to just a few minutes. Okay. Okay. So this disease will affect the whole alimentary canal, right from upper, that is mouth, up to anus. So these are all lesions. You are going to look this particular slide. That is stomatitis, then there is gastritis, then hepatitis, bile duct inflammation. That is we call it as uh, what is that particular word we use for bile duct inflammation? Cholecystitis. Okay. Then colitis, that is intestinal inflammation, colitis, and with arthritis, that is joint pains and swelling, with rectal bleeding associated with fever, weight loss, and diseased appetite. Okay. So all these things we are going to see in this particular disease, that is Crohn's disease. Morphology. So the Crohn's disease, there is, should while 1 minute, morphology. Okay. Crohn's disease may involve the esophagus, esophagus, even mouth, but these sites are distinctly uncommon. Okay. There is the inflammation do occur in from, or it starts from mouth, but these are uncommon features. That is the disease may give symptoms right from mouth, eye irritation, mouth inflammation, the lesions in the mouth, then esophagus, and duodenal inflammations. All these lesions, they are there in Crohn's disease, but they are uncommon. The diseased bowel segment, the serosa, is granular and dull gray. The bowel segment which get affected or which shows the inflammation, the serosa of bowel, it becomes granular and it is dull gray. Okay. The mesentery of involved segment is also thickened. The mesentery of involved segment is also become thickened. We have seen just in slide figure that whole the wall of bowel get edematous, it get thickened. Okay. Sometimes there is fibrotic lesions may get developed in the bowel wall. So mesentery involved segment is become thickened, it is edematous, and sometimes there is fibrotic lesions. The intestinal wall is become rubbery, thickened because of edema, inflammation, and fibrosis, with hypertrophy of muscularis propria. There is inflammation of this muscularis layer is characteristically seen in the Crohn's disease and not in ulcerative colitis. Okay. So thickness of whole intestinal wall is very, very characteristic with this Crohn's disease. Also, there is some changes in morphology, like it become rubbery, that is elasticity increases, it become thickened, edematous, inflamed, and fibrosed. So all these things we can see in the Crohn's disease. Okay. As a result of this, the lumen is always become narrowed as there is edematous. Edema get developed in the whole bowel wall or intestinal wall. The naturally what will be going to happen? The lumen will get narrowed. Okay. There is narrow fissures develop between the folds of mucosa, often penetrating deeply through the bowel wall. So these features will develop between the folds of the mucosa. Often they penetrate deeply through the bowel wall. Okay. So now these features may sometimes gives rise to fistula or may get developed into the fistula. That is to and fro connection between the two cavities. There is formation of a duct. We call it as fistula. Okay, so fissures may leads to fistula sometimes. Now microscopically, there are early lesions in the microscopic. What are the microscopic changes with this morphology? That is the mucosa acutely get congested, especially over the tip of mucosal fold. Again, the similar lesions in ulcerative colitis also get developed, that the lesion starts at the tip of the mucosal folds. There is neutrophilic infiltration, that is polymorphonuclear leukocytes get involved into the epithelial layer with lymphoidal aggregation. Okay, here there is aggregation of lymphocytes with neutrophilic infiltration. Okay, it is characteristically seen in the early lesions. Okay, so we have discussed that this Crohn's disease, the lesion starts from mouth up to the anus, where it shows the inflammation of whole GI tract. It starts from duodenum, stomach, esophagus, even mouth get affected with these lesions. They are distinctly uncommon with these particular areas, but we can see these lesions. Okay. The diseased bowel segment, the serosa, it shows granular appearance. It becomes dull gray. The mesentery involved, it will also become thickened, it become edematous, and sometimes it become fibrosed. So whole this inflammation of this wall will going to narrow the lumen, okay, with rubbery consistency, with edema, inflammation and fibrosis, the bowel wall, the lumen become narrowed. There may be development of narrow fissures between the folds of the mucosa. Here again, you can see there will be less chances of formation of crypt abscess. That is characteristic with the ulcerative colitis, crypt abscess. But here they are uncommon because the ulcers will get developed at the tip, and directly there is fissures get developed which may get confined, which may get developed into the fistula. Now in early lesions, the mucosa, it get acutely congested, it become red, inflamed, and it is characteristically seen on the tip of mucosal fold. There is neutrophilic infiltration into the epithelial layer with lymphoidal aggregation. As the disease progresses, now this is the second step of the disease. As the disease progresses, the neutrophil they immerse into the isolated crypts. So there is neutrophilic involvement into the isolated crypts. The crypt abscess later on get formed into this particular disease process, causes mucosal damage. So this crypt abscess is not formed in the first stage, but they do appear in the next. As the disease progresses, the crypt abscess get formed, causing mucosal damage. The ulcerations, they are superficial or may be up to the mucosa, may penetrate deeply into the underlying tissues. Later on, they causes transmural inflammation. So these ulcerations, they are superficial or may be up to the mucosa, submucosa. They may penetrate deeply into the underlying tissues. Okay. Later on, they may cause the transmural inflammation. Okay. So this is the microscopic appearance of this particular lesions. We have seen early lesions. In these early lesions, there is neutrophilic infiltration and lymphoidal aggregation. Later on, as there is disease progress, there is we can take out the neutrophils, or we can see the neutrophils in the isolated crypts. Crypt abscess may form, and which extends the particular lesions, that is fissuring may get developed from this crypt abscesses. Okay. So ulcerations, they may penetrate deeply into the underlying tissue. Later on, they may cause the transmural inflammation. Okay. Now, local complications of this particular lesions that we will discuss in the next meeting. Because the time is running out, I am going to call the other meeting. Okay. So we can talk with the local complications and the differentiation of this particular disease, that is ulcerative differentiation between ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. Okay. So I'm going to end this meeting. I'm again call within few minutes. Okay. Just wait for a few minutes. Then we can call
Yes,
the
ma'am.
second meeting.